seated. We will open our service with a prayer from Kabbalat Shabbat, which you can find on page 23. So the words are actually the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 from the bottom, where it starts with Mikolot Maim Rabim. Let's turn back to page 6. Let's read responsibly at the bottom of the page. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We turn to page 20 and 21 as we welcome the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi. We will sing verses 1, 2, and then at verse 9, we will rise and face the door.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor b'zachor b'ribo תפארת ולצילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. I invite you to rise. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובשולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We continue with Baruch, which you can find on page 28.
Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yalalai, lai, lai. 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 Yalalai, lai, lai.
We continue on page 31 at the top. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets its way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. On the top of page 33, let's read together. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Avad.
You can be seated as we continue with the chanting of Ve'ahavta on page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'vlechtecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam lehot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'vish'arecha Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Na Elohechem emet.
On page 41, let's read together. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Let's sing in Micha Mocha on the previous page together.
Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar ba'kodesh, Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot, or seifele, no אמר כבוד אדוני את יעקב, ולעולם יד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Our evening prayer of protection, Hashkivenu, can be found on page 43 at the top, as well as parts on the top of page 42. Let there be love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Vehamidenu, Shomreinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Our prayer of Shabbat on page 45 at the top. I feel like this reading is pretty relevant this week. Our Torah portion is Parshat Yitro, where we receive the Ten Commandments. So this feels very timely to read this top reading. So let's read it together. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. I invite those who are able to please rise as we begin the Amidah, beginning on page 46.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imatenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor, v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידה מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. בנאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You can be seated. On page 55 at the top, let's read together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day, and may all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh ha-Shabbat. On page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayer. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha beyira na'avod. Our prayer of thanksgiving can be found on page 59. Let's read together at the top. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We'll conclude our Amidah with a prayer of peace, Shalom Rav, which you can find on page 60.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam.
At this point in our service, we want to take a moment to offer prayers of healing, those who we are thinking of who need healing of body, healing of mind or spirit. We take this opportunity to share those names with our community. If you are watching online, feel free to share those names aloud, or you can say them in your hearts. Sorry, Baba. You can find our prayer of healing, our Misha Berach prayer on page 253. 253. Please join in singing, thinking of those to help them, uplift them, their caregivers, and their families. Let's take a few moments for our own private prayers, prayers from the heart. So here at Mickve Israel, we not only say prayers for those we are thinking of who are in need of healing, we also want to take a minute to celebrate any good things happening in your lives. We want to celebrate the good times, be with you there for the bad times, but also for the good times. So are there any good news we want to share this evening that we can say a Shehechianu for? Man, this happened the last time too, you know. Oh, very nice. Okay. Anybody else? Well, I said it last week, but I'll say it again. My older daughter turned 12 this past week, but she is celebrating this coming Shabbat. So wish me well on no sleep on Sunday. So if you'll stand up, we'll say a Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov on your brother's new baby. Thank you. Before we move to our closing prayer, I just want to say about our Torah portion this week, because tomorrow you are going to be hearing about our amazing food festival that we had this past November. So I just wanted to say a couple of interesting things. Maybe it's only interesting to me, but hopefully it'll be interesting to you as well. This week we chant, or I will chant tomorrow, the 10 Commandments. So in the Torah book, it is I think it is the only place where there are actually two different trope marks. So trope marks are, when you're looking at the Hebrew, it's like the dots and the commas that are not vowels. So that is what tells you how to chant the Torah verses in the Torah. And this week, there are two different sets of trope marks. So for me, when I am looking at it, it looks a little confusing because each word has like two different trope marks. So this is because the 10 Commandments is special enough that you need to have two different tropes. So the Torah on Mondays and Thursdays and Shabbat in ancient times were said aloud. They were, for all the community to hear. And so when you're chanting, when it's the community hearing, you want to hear the fancy one, right? You want to hear like all the major big tropes. But when you're just studying it, you have just the regular trope marks. So that is why there are two trope marks. Tomorrow I will do the fancier version because I'm doing it for a public reading. That's what it was called. So there's a public reading and there is just the studying reading. So it's the only place in the Torah that I know that there are these two different trope marks, because it is important, as we read earlier, that it is as if we are experiencing the 10 Commandments like we were there back in the day when we were receiving the 10 Commandments. So that's just my little nugget so that when you hear it tomorrow, you know I'm choosing the public worship chanting version of the 10 Commandments. Okay, so we will now conclude our service, begin to conclude our service. On page 282, I will invite you to rise as you are able for Aleinu.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latekedu la liotze bereshit, shelo asani kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechohamonam, vanachnu korim, Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim Kadosh Baruch Hu.
You can be seated as we continue on page 287.
V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
On page 295. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This week we are remembering Louis Alexander, Tova Biner, Ida Bowley-Bick, Helen Stern Coleman, Phyllis Denmark, George Fenster, Bobby Friedman, Dr. Stephen Halpern, Bernice Wolfe Harris, Sarah S. Hirsch, Gloria Katzlow, Amy Lembreger, Edwin J. Mazzo, Leona Zerman Mirsky, Joseph J. Oppenheim, Sarah Polonskaya, Isaiah A. Solomons III, Charles Vandenbulk, Miriam P. Weissman, Charles Carl Woolner. If there's anyone that I left off or that you wanted to add or I mispronounced anyone's name that you want to share. For all those we named and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, I invite you to rise and join in the Kaddish on page 294. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam ulamei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all humankind, to which we say, Amen. You can be seated. I'd like to invite up our president, Ron Fagan.
Thank you, Cantor Rachel. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. First of all, thank you, Board Member Scott, for ushering and accompanying us here on the Bima. We appreciate that. Tomorrow, as Cantor mentioned, there is a special Shabbat honoring the Food Fest volunteers we had in October. It was quite a success, and we did very well on it. It bodes well for the future of the Food Fest. There will be some singing and some reminiscing about the Food Fest. So please join us, everybody, tomorrow at 11 o'clock at the Shabbat service. On February 8th, actually 8th, 9th, and 10th, but 9th being starting the Sabbath, we have our special Scholar in Residence Shabbat with Dr. Lance Sussman, a rabbi, a retired rabbi, and a wonderful scholar, will be giving actually 3 talks, and they're in your schedule. Be blessed online. But he will be talking on Thursday at the Bistro on Mark Chagall, and this should be very interesting. And on Friday, we will have at 7 o'clock after services, he'll be talking about the religious liberties and Jews in colonial and revolutionary America. And on Saturday at the Kiddush luncheon, he will be talking about how lox and other foods became Jewish cuisine. So please call the office for the schedules for these. Of course, the Kiddush is going to be free, but the others we have to have RSVPs. One other. On Saturday, Okay, on February 7th, a Wednesday that is, at 4 o'clock, there will be the breast health seminar. This is a free to all. This is in conjunction with Memorial Medical Center and the Women of Mickve Israel. So please look at that as a possibility. You might want to attend that. And way in the future, not too way in the future, March 23rd, we have the Purim Masquerade scheduled, and you'll hear more about that before that time. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shalom. Thank you, Ron. I also wanted to welcome my colleague and friend growing up, Cantor Hollis Shackner, and you actually will hear her song, Yehu L'Ratzon, tomorrow, that she wrote, and with our cantor that we grew up with, Rochelle Nelson. So, we are going to conclude our service, here we are, with the singing of Or Zarua on page 343. So I invite you to rise as you are able for our closing song, and wish the people around you a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Simcha.
Shabbat Shalom. Before you can be seated, before we leave, we will have Kiddush, which you can find on page 4, so you can be seated for Kiddush. On page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemasei v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta, me'otanu kidashta, mikol Shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
L'chaim. And for our motzi. Ooh, okay.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Shabbat shalom.
You can join us for some Kiddush and some Challah in our atrium. Shabbat shalom.